there have been rumblings, sort of news, about Man of Steel 2 if it ever comes to pass, and I think it will. But as we all know, Man of Steel, the first one, came out in 2013, starring Henry Cavill as Superman, and he has appeared as Superman in other movies, BVS and Justice League, since then, but never his own movie, his own sequel to the one he originated. A lot of people would love to see another Superman movie, myself included. But director Christopher McQuarrie, who is directing Henry Cavill in the upcoming Mission Impossible Fallout, which comes out in July, McQuarrie gave a quote recently that said he would direct Man of Steel 2 if Warner Brothers or Henry Cavill, gave him the chance. He was like, yeah. Now that's kind of non-committal or anything. We don't know if that'll happen. But, maybe that'll come to pass because he and Cavill apparently have been talking. But first, let me read Mr. McQuarrie's quote, which I have here on Screen Rant. He's doing a press tour right now for Fallout Mission Impossible because that comes out like 2 or 3 months from now. So, all the actors and the director, they have to do their rounds to promote it. But of course, he mentioned Man of Steel 2 when someone asked him if he'd ever do a comic book movie. And here's what he said. I've never really thought about it. I feel like if the story was right and the character was right, I love working with Henry. Henry's great. And then I think they asked him point blank, would you direct Man of Steel 2? And he said, if Henry asked me to, sure, why not? Now, that's not really like him saying, oh yeah, I'll do it. But, he has given, that's a positive indication. He didn't say flat out no. And here's what Henry Cavill said when he was asked this is another conversation, I think somewhere else, about if he'd do Man of Steel 2. And he said, I'm having a lot of conversations behind the scenes with certain people, and we will hopefully be having conversations with other people who are also behind the scenes to make things start happening. It is very much in my desire to do a Man of Steel 2, a direct sequel to Man of Steel. And there is a whole bunch of Superman story that I want to tell. There is a whole style of Superman's character that I'm very keen to tell, and I'm looking forward to the opportunity. Now, I think he's keen to tell Superman's story the way it was in Justice League. A lot of people like the Superman in Justice League because he was more confident, more traditional, rather than the brooding kind of depressed Superman we got in BVS and Man of Steel. I did appreciate that version, but a lot of people did not like it. And so I think Warner Brothers wanted to course correct with Justice League with Superman. And I think that's a signal of what Superman's going to be like in future movies. Now, this is something else that was interesting. In the same article, it says, there have been rumors the studio would like to extend Cavill's contract for multiple movies and use Superman as connective tissue for their extended universe. Now, that's interesting. So instead of having someone like Batman or Wonder Woman maybe be the one to show up as cameos or guest stars in other people's movies, maybe they'd use Superman to do it. And that would be appropriate to me because historically, a lot of DC comics, it was Superman comic books that a lot of characters would debut or cross over in who would previously be in their own corners of the DC universe. But whenever they wanted to cross over with somebody, a lot of times DC would have them cross over with Superman or show up in a story with him. So I think this would actually be pretty appropriate given the history of Superman and his role in the DC universe and his connection to other characters. And I'm sure if Henry Cavill wants to do it and Warner Brothers wants him to be Superman, there's really nothing standing in the way except for money and logistics. But, I'm cool with that. But what do you think? Would you like to see a Man of Steel 2? And would you like to see Superman be the one to be the backbone or I guess the guest star or whatever in other DC people's movies going forward? I would. That's my DC movie update for the day. If you like this video, please like it on YouTube and subscribe to the channel because I appreciate your viewership. And I will talk to you soon. Bye.